$500, that's the average amount each of you spend yearly on your prescription drugs.
Yeah, but what if there was a way to cut that in half? Would you try it? Matt Gephardt's been investigating a solution for us tonight, Matt.
Sean and Mark, the bad news here is by virtue of living in the United States, you pay more for your medications than you would if you lived anywhere else in the world. For many, it is a fact that has reached a financial breaking point. I just got home from Canada investigating some of the reasons behind these cost discrepancies, as well as the surprising ways that Utahns are saving on meds. Pharmacies here in downtown Vancouver look a lot like pharmacies back in the States. The big difference, when a Canadian walks out of a pharmacy, they still have their shirt. A few years ago, a severe lung condition took over Wendy Nichols' life. After experimenting with several options, her doctor had an idea for a different medication.
He said, let's try this one. It's 3-in-1. And so far, it's been great.
Thanks to a manufacturer's coupon, Wendy pays $10 a month for now. When that coupon runs out next month, the price will go up to at least $578. Can you afford that?
No, I couldn't afford that. I make decent money, but I couldn't afford that.
Having to choose between the medication that you need to live and, say, the food that you need to live is an embarrassing problem that plagues many Americans. Here in the United States, we have higher prices for most prescription drugs than anywhere else in the world. And the feds say it's a problem that is likely to get worse. So I traveled to Canada looking for answers. Why are drugs so much more affordable here? And can you and I safely and legally capitalize on drug prices up north?
These are all the medications that...
Catherine McDonald runs one Canadian pharmacy which primarily ships medication in the mail. That includes to the United States. I told her about Wendy. She doesn't know what she's going to do because her drug prices are about to go through the roof. So she takes this drug. Remember, Wendy is looking at a U.S. price tag of about $600. What does that drug cost in Canada?
It's $250 plus a $10 dispensing fee.
So less than half for this drug?
Yeah.
She should come see you.
She should.
There are a number of things to blame for America's stiffer prices.
Ask your doctor about...
There's Celebrex.
There's Mirapex.
Prescription Zoloft.
For one thing, the U.S. is one of only 2 countries where manufacturers can legally advertise their drugs, which of course increases demand. Other countries also have regulators who put caps on the costs. But the biggest issue tends to be that drug patents last longer in the U.S., which keeps generic drugs out of the market longer.
Essentially, it's competition that creates a better price for medication.
This is Danny Camille, and he has an interesting job title: Director of Pharmacy Tourism. You see, drugs are so much less expensive here, it is booming an entire new Canadian industry. Finding Americans who can save money by booking a plane ticket, flying hundreds of miles north, and getting a Canadian prescription rather than running down the street to their local pharmacy. In America, in Utah, people are going bankrupt trying to afford their medications. Is that a problem here?
It's not, and that's sad to hear. It really is. And this is why we think that our program would help solve some of these issues.
One hiccup to all of this? It is completely 100% against the law to import medications into the United States. By law, any drugs, including foreign-made versions of U.S.-approved drugs, can be seized at the border. But it's a law that's basically going unenforced, especially if somebody's trying to bring in a less than 90-day supply of a medication.
I'm fine with it.
And even President Trump has said importing drugs from Canada may be the solution to high costs.
Healthcare is a right, and everybody should have healthcare. And if we can offer that to not only Canadians, but North Americans and Americans, and that's why our program started.
Are drug prices in the United States reasonable?
They're outrageous.
I traveled home, and I told Wendy what I found.
Why? Why not us? Why not here in the United States? Why do we have to go through this? Anybody that has a terminal chronic illness has to deal with this.
And you know, it is not just you, the customer, who can capitalize on cheaper Canadian drugs. Investigating this, we found cases where the health insurance company has actually been known to front the bill, pay for that plane ticket for the patient to go up to Canada and see a physician and get their meds there. On certain drugs, that is how incredible the cost savings can be. And speaking of folks trying to capitalize, some Utah lawmakers want to get in on this to maybe help all of us down here. More on that coming up tomorrow night on 2 News at 6 o'clock.